Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Habib Ali and I am an ICT tutor by profession. In today's tutorial we are going to be learning about the VLOOKUP function, how to use the column function to replace the column index argument within the VLOOKUP function, and finally how to use the IFError function with the VLOOKUP and the column function to replace the error messages that we receive. So if you are ready, let's go and make a start. In today's tutorial I'm using this file and it is called tutorial 67 column and IFError function with a VLOOKUP. And if you do want to get your hands on this, feel free to click on the link I have left for you in the description. When you do click on the link, it will take you directly on my website to tutorial 67 and you can download this as well to work along with myself. So I'll give you a few seconds for you to do that right now. Okay, so welcome back. In today's tutorial we will be using a combination of functions. So with the VLOOKUP I am planning to use the column function as well as the IFError function. So together with all three functions we should be able to achieve some amazing results and for them to be automated as we replicate across and get all relevant results automatically. So let's make a start with the maths results. So we are looking up the maths results for this candidate A01 candidate number. So candidate A01 is Bert Lucky. So we want to find the results for his maths. So we start with equals. Let's use the VLOOKUP first of all. Now if you are new to VLOOKUP, I have done an entire VLOOKUP tutorial. It is tutorial 65 and I shall leave a link for you in the description for that as well. I do recommend you going through that tutorial as it is a comprehensive tutorial on the VLOOKUP on its own. So the next thing in the VLOOKUP is the lookup value. Now this is the cell, if you remember. So this is what we need to tell Excel. It is K5 and then we press the comma and we move on to the next argument. The next argument is the table array. Now as you know already, if you have gone through my tutorial number 65, this is the table array, which is another word for the range of data that I am looking up the data for this candidate A01. But please do remember, with the use of VLOOKUP, it will always look up the data in the very first column of the range of data that you have selected. So in this case, because I've selected this range, this value will only be looked up in this column and not in the other columns. So please do make a note of that. Then I press the comma to move on to the next argument and it's asking for the column index. Now normally we just type in the column number and this is why I have put these labels here for you, just to help you out to identify the column number within the range of data. So for the maths it is column number 4. So normally we would just press number 4 and press the comma to move on to the next argument. So the last argument is the range lookup, which is simply either true or false, that we want the candidate number to match. So in this case we want a true match or an exact match. So therefore I am either going to type in false or simply put in a 0, which is also the same thing, and close the brackets, press enter. So this is a VLOOKUP on its own. Now if I was to replicate across, I would get these errors in the other two cells simply because I haven't made some of these references absolute. So such as the K5, the lookup value needs to be made absolute. So let's do that. And also the table array needs to be fixed as well. So let's make it absolute. by pressing the F4 if you remember on the keyboard, and that will do the job. So let's press enter and let's replicate again and let's see what happens. So this time we're getting all 33s for English, ICT as well as maths. Now the reason, remember, we are getting that is because the column index has not changed. For each one it is still carrying over the column number 4. So this is where I am going to be introducing this very simple column function. So before I apply it within the VLOOKUP, I want to demonstrate and introduce this to you and show you what the column function actually does, so that you understand it before we actually apply it to the VLOOKUP. So if I press equals and simply type in col, it will give me two possible functions. One is a column and one is a columns. Now for today's tutorial, I'll be using only the column function, and in a future tutorial we will also discuss this one as well. So please don't worry about this at this present moment. So let's press the tab key to accept the column function. Then it is simply asking for a reference. Now what that is, or this column function will do for me, is count the number or which column I am on, which number it is. So for example, if I want to know column K, which number column K is in terms of counting from A all the way to K, I want to know the identification of this K column, which number it is. So if I put in this reference, any of these cells within the column K, so if I click anywhere here, for example, and close the brackets and press enter, Excel will tell me that column K is actually the 11th column of this worksheet. Now this is important, that it is the 11th column of the worksheet, because the column function will only count from the beginning of the worksheet to the column that you have asked it to count to, or identify which column this is in terms of numbers. So if I do another one, so if I just come out or click within this column function, and let's say I want to know what column B is in terms of numbers. So if I click again anywhere in this column, I could click here, it doesn't really matter, press enter. Excel will tell me that this is the second column of this worksheet. So let's do one more just for your understanding. Let's go for this one here, column I. Let's see which one this is. Press enter. This is the 9th column of the worksheet. How? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I is the 9th column of the worksheet. So I hope you've understood fully what the column function actually does. It identifies the column number of the worksheet. So how can we use this column function within our column index of this VLOOKUP? Well, I'm actually going to be showing you two particular methods that you can actually use. So let's go into this. I'm going to click on the column index like so and delete this number 4, and in its place I'm going to type in column and then press the tab key for Excel to give me this column function, and then within the brackets I'm going to ask Excel, because remember we need the column, the 4th column, to get the results for maths for this candidate A01 Bert Lucky. So we need column index number 4. So we are going to be using this column function to somehow get this 4th column within the VLOOKUP without us having to type in column index number 4 manually. So what I can do is tell Excel, okay, I want column number 4 of this worksheet. So if it's column number 4 of this worksheet, it will have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So column D is actually the 4th column of the worksheet. So if I was to click anywhere within column D and then close the brackets and press enter, I do get 33 for Bert, which is actually correct. So if I now replicate across, it should work. There you go. So we've got 33, 91 and 78. This is the results, as you can see, for candidate A01 here. So 33, 91 and 78. Let's have a look at these individual results and let's see what's happened to our column function. So we started with D16, then as we replicated it changed to E16, as you can see here, and then for the ICT it changed to F16. Now each one of these, column F is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 6th column. Now in our range of data for ICT, we wanted the column index number 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even though we've got F16 in there, this F16 is the equivalent of column index number 6 of our range of data. Column number 6, as you can see here from these labels, this is column number 6. So in a way, we are asking Excel to use the column function to find the 6th column of this worksheet, and then what VLOOKUP does, it takes the 6th worksheet as the column index number 6. So we've replaced the column index 6 of the VLOOKUP by using the column function and getting Excel to identify the 6th column. If this is confusing for you because we are using, for example, with using D16, which is the last name to identify this, the 4th column, if this is confusing for you, I have another method for you, and where we can actually use the maths column, because I know we are looking for the maths results for a candidate A01. So if you do want to use the maths column, we can actually do this, and I'm going to show you this right now. So let's get rid of D16, and in its place, let's go and select this column here. Let's select this value. Remember, it doesn't matter, you can select any cell within this column, and it has given us E4. Now E4 is going to be column, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th column of the worksheet. This is the 5th column. Now if we do put column E, even though it is under maths within our range of data, within the VLOOKUP, it will actually be identified as the 5th column, because within our range, remember, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5 is for English. So if I press enter now, the results I will get within this cell will actually be 91. Because within the range of data, this is the 5th column, and this function here, column E4, is identifying the 5th column because E, it is the 5th column of the worksheet. Let's count this one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Column E is the 5th column, which is equivalent to the 5th column of our worksheet for English. So if I press enter, we will get 91. Let's have a look. There you go, we got 91. Now obviously this is not what we want. We don't want 91 to be displayed. We don't want the English results under the maths label. We want 33 to be displayed. So what we can do now to take it one step further is tell Excel, okay, even though you've given us the 6th the fifth column, because column E is the fifth column, we want to take you one column backwards, so that instead of you giving us the English results, you will give us the maths results if we somehow could take you back one column. And we can simply do that with a subtraction. We can say equals column E4, then minus 1. So if we say minus 1, we are minusing one column. So instead of the fifth column, it will actually give us the fourth column of this worksheet. And this is what we are looking for within our range, our table array. Remember, we need to get somehow the fourth column within our table array. So we can do this as well. So we can select the maths column and then minus 1, and now I should get 33. Let's see if we do so. There you are, we got 33. The reason is, remember, let me clarify for you one more time, because it can be confusing, especially if you are doing this for the very first time. I'm going to click inside. So normally we would type in column number 4, column index number 4, and it is straightforward. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are looking for maths. So because we have replaced column index 4 with the column function, we have got E4. Now normally the E column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth column of the worksheet. So if we leave this as it is, Excel will find the fifth column within our table array, and this would have given us the results for English. Then what we did to eradicate or change the results for English to the correct results to maths, which is what we need, we said to Excel, okay, I want you to minus one column, meaning go backwards to one column. Instead of you giving us the fifth column, we want you to give us the fourth column of the table range. This is the reason we did minus 1. Let's press enter and let's replicate all this across to the other cells, or the two cells, and we should get all of them to be correct. So this particular candidate A01, you can see now, is matching all three results. We've got 33, 91 and 78. Let's test this. Let's put another candidate in here. Let's put A05. Press enter. Now A05 is Christopher Fuller here, so he's got 65, 70 and 44, and exactly what we got as well, 65, 70 and 44. So let us test one more just to prove to you that it works perfectly fine. Press enter. This time we are looking for candidate A07, which is Elaine. So she's got 67, 75 and 66, and again this is matching our results. So you can see how amazing it is. By using a simple column function to replace the column index of our VLOOKUP, we can now automate the column index as we replicate into the other cells that we are looking up. It will do it for you automatically. Otherwise, you will have to change the column index manually, like I showed you in tutorial 65 in that VLOOKUP tutorial. So now I want to take you another step further and use the IFError function. So for example, if a candidate came along and gave us an incorrect candidate number, such as, let's say, A007, he gave us an extra 0, it will throw the error messages simply because this candidate does not exist. As you can see within our range, there is nobody with this candidate number. And also remember, I'm using a simple table array of data. In the real world, you could have hundreds or thousands of students' records. So The last thing you want is a candidate coming along and giving you the incorrect number and then you getting the error messages. So instead of you getting the error messages, what we can do is introduce the IFError function within our VLOOKUP and with the combination of the column function as well. And if you are totally new to the IFError function, I have done a complete IFError function, and this is tutorial number 66. And again, I will leave all these references or links in the comment section below for you, so you can access and complete those tutorials as well to get a comprehensive understanding for each one of these functions independently. So let's go ahead now and apply this IFError function within our VLOOKUP to eradicate these error messages and get Excel to display something a lot more relevant and something that we can actually understand. So we are going to put the IFError at the beginning of this VLOOKUP. So I'm going to simply type in if, and you can see the functions come up. So if I press the tab key, it will select this one. There we are. And we've got two simple arguments. The first one is the value, and the value is simply everything we have already got here. So we don't need to change anything here. All I have to do is click at the end and put in the comma, and it will move along to the next argument. And this is the important one. It is asking us, okay, what value do you want if there is an error? Well, if there is an error in this particular example, we want Excel to display, let's say, invalid candidate number, close the speech marks and simply close the brackets. Now if I press enter, I should get this this message on the screen: invalid candidate number, which is a lot more meaningful to us. It means, as it is saying, that this candidate number is invalid. It does not exist. So let's go ahead and put in a correct one to begin with, A01. So we've got all the results for candidate A01. As you can see, again, this is Bert, 33, 91 and 78. Now let's type in an invalid candidate number, let's say A010, which doesn't exist at the moment in this range. You can see all we have got is A09. So if I press enter, it will give us invalid candidate number message on the screen for each one of these. So straight away the user will know that the candidate number that was given is an incorrect candidate number. The person does not exist in this particular example. So I hope you have now fully understood how to use the column function with the combination with the IFError function with the VLOOKUP. The VLOOKUP on its own is fantastic. So now you can see that with the combination of the column function and the IFError function, how we have automated the complete VLOOKUP function. And if we did get an incorrect candidate number, we can ask Excel to display something relevant on the screen rather than just throwing an error message to us. And this is the end of today's tutorial. So if you do have any further questions or any clarifications, please leave them in the comment section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, don't forget to give this video a like and share with your family and friends so they can benefit as well. And please also consider subscribing to our channel if you have not done so already. And I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial. So until then, take care and goodbye for now.